Have you ever had a dream? What about a nightmare? A nightmare so devastating that it shook your foundation? A horror so disenchanting that it leaves you wondering where the line between waking and dreaming is? A vivid hallucination lasting a synaptic blink of an eye, yet in your head, an entire week? Welcome to Jim Davis's new masterpiece, Garfield's Nightmare Arc. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Normals and Odies. It is February 2024, and a new Garfield arc just landed, stretching the week of February 12th to the 17th, being capped off today, the 18th, with a back-to-form Sunday strip, where Garfield wakes up from his nightmares. There have been several arcs in the past, several good ones. Arguably some of the best Garfield content is contained in these arcs. From the very famous Halloween arc, where Garfield wakes up to find his house abandoned and suddenly narrated, to the long runner of Garfield getting locked out of the house and finding his mom, they all contain a narrative that gives us Garfield fans a little more to chew on. Garfield is not a comic rife with commentary. There's not much depth to be had. This is by design. Davis wanted a comic that was relatable, easy to show and tell. It sticks to subjects and themes that anyone can relate to. It's what has led to the strip's success over the years and its ability to endure. Garfield is genderless, without age or political alignment. And then, every once in an orange moon, we are given something heftier to sink our teeth into. The arcs that Davis produces are simply enjoyable. Unannounced, unexpected. It's like having an old friend show up that you haven't seen in a while. And as soon as you start talking, it's like a day hasn't even gone by between your last meeting. You start reminiscing about times gone by, old stories you can only share between the two of you, but this is something we all get to share in, because you can just go out there and read it, yo. Alright, let me hit you with a short synopsis. Each day, the first two panels present an unlikely scenario, such as a dog-demic or Pookie talking trash. That one hurt a lot. In Monday's strip, the television announces that a new mayor has been elected. Barks emanate from the screen, and Garfield is aghast at the thought of a canine leading his city. In the last panel, suddenly, Garfield is awake, eyes wide, lying in his bed, able only to say these three words: worst nightmare ever. This single panel, is then copy and pasted as the last panel for every comic over the next 5 days. In another, John tells Garfield that the pizzas have finally arrived and that Garfield gets to choose which one he wants. The choices are kale or tofu. Garfield grimaces. He wakes up. Worst nightmare ever. In another, John has brought Garfield to the vet. Liz asks Garfield if he's ready for his exam. Garfield says whatever. Liz then walks into frame with an anal thermometer the size of a Toyota Camry. Garfield wakes up. Worst nightmare ever. In another, Garfield and Arlene are posted at their favorite spot, the fence under moonlight. As silver moonbeams lay themselves over our favorite felines, Garfield asks Arlene how they should spend their evening. Arlene says, "Let's talk politics." Garfield wakes up. Worst nightmare ever. So, as I rolled into today's comic for Sunday, February 19th, I was sweating. It begins dreamily and perfect, but I've seen this before. In my head, I knew I was about to be subverted. I quickly jumped to the last panel just to make sure, and with a sigh of relief, I was not met with a traumatized Garfield, shooken from slumber. Garfield had escaped his death loop of dystopian dreaming. Today, instead, he wakes up to a wafting scent tickling his nose. As we move through the comic, the scent is coming from the kitchen, Garfield's favorite place. It's coffee that John has produced. What unfolds is a Shakespearean spew of dialogue with an orange cat twist, such that only Garfield could provide. The joke is amusing, and the comic is like a warm hug after a long, frightful night. What kind of events led to the creation of this arc? Is Jim Davis beset with night terrors? Is all the money he made off of Garfield Eats weighing his soul down? dragging him slowly into a hell of his own neurotransmitters? More importantly, is it gonna continue on Monday? I guess we'll have to wait and see. For now, I strongly encourage you to go and review this week's strips from Garfield. They are a serious treat and a return to form. Since I started this journey of journalizing Garfield's exploits, I have only seen the strip improve and feel it slowly crawling back to its roots, embracing its image in the zeitgeist and pushing forward while having fond memories of looking back. My actual respect for Jim Davis grows as he clearly is able to and enjoys having fun with the character he created. This might be a case of Stockholm Syndrome on my part, but I'm not quite sure yet. Anyways, thank you for watching. Prepare for Monday, and remember to be nice to yourself and be nice to other people. No more bad dreams.